Hi guys, welcome to hopefully our final test stream tonight. So I have a completely different setup going on now. I have my other monitor up. I think I have most of the lag issues worked out, and we are mostly going to test to see how flying goes and also to see how transitioning between my two devices for a single stream goes. So I'm crossing my fingers. I think switching devices will go just a little bit better when I have another monitor, but that's very far down the road from where I am right now. So 2 monitors and an extra computer in my 2 devices is absolutely plenty for my mind right now. Hey Texas, nice to see ya. So today I want to show you guys what I've been doing this weekend, which is harassing people with my baby How. So this is my alt account that you can see on the screen right now. I typically do a lot of my videos for my team using my alt account because of the dragons it has. They're a little bit more available. So I did fill out the roster, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. Filled out my roster with the dragons I typically would have on for events or for wars and things like that. When I am not in a major event like that or not in a war, I actually reduce my roster significantly to include maybe 1 or 2 dragons. And the reason for that is missions. So I have some missions to run, as you can see. They all pretty much popped up, and I've been doing them for a little bit now, but I wanted to leave them up. So I try to do missions as much as I can. The fewer dragons you have on your roster, if you didn't already know, means the fewer dragons you have to use to complete your missions. So right now I have 2 different dragons plus a plain old defeat mission up on the screen. So when I was farming tokens this weekend for the breeding event, I also have the 200 token boost, so I do this as well, but I only had Howzet and I had, I think, Zamorak and Sekhem just in case on my roster. One of the reasons I can do this, one of the reasons I can do this is I do have 2 accounts, well, technically a few more than 2 accounts, but I have 2 accounts on the same team that work pretty well together. So the account you're seeing on my screen right now, again, is my 138. So on the roster, most of the dragons are capped, with some exceptions. I do have my capped Nightshade. Everyone knows how much I love Nightshade. My capped Snowdrop, he is what he is. Cap Sekhem, I love Sekhem. Desiccating Sandstorm is a lot of fun. My capped Aster, which is great. I do have Aster to Emerald Stone, thankfully. I love this dragon. Expert Riz. I'll explain what's going on at Howzet in a second. I have my capped Tengu. Scorchill's capped as well. And then I have Itaru, who I just kind of run when I need things to do. Just, he's not exactly a great dragon. And that's a kind way of saying he's a really bad dragon. So for those of you that have the luck of skipping Itaru for a little bit, I do believe he's necessary for every emerald path that I've created. Just these spells kind of suck. So just don't like Itaru. And then Zam, I just kind of run when I remember to run him, which I know is really terrible. But I've been focusing on How. So you will see that my How is still level 1. He's level 1, but he does have 8.5 million XP banked on him, and one of the reasons I left him at level 1 is to relearn how to fly him. I am typically very overpowered for my level on my alt, and I feel like that has severely put a damper on my flying skills. So I am trying to leave him at level 1 and harass as many bases as I can to fly a little bit more strategically rather than just relying on overall firepower, because I know if I do feed him, he will firepower alone just take down bases. So I'm really avoiding feeding him. So we're going to do my token missions real quick. So we're testing to see how bad the lag is today. Sometimes it just slows down, chops up a bit. I do believe that's just my equipment right now, but hopefully we don't see the pixelation issue. So for Sekhem and Nightshade, both of them have more XP than I ever care to count, so I just use a very easy mission base for them. So hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, darling. So our goal here is not XP at all, because they don't need XP. These are dragons that are probably expert once I get them uncapped, so I'm not too concerned. So I'm at bookmarks. We have Mrs. Mercy here. I love Mrs. Mercy. I'm not sure what happened, but I'll use her until she's taken away. She's just a castle. So this is great. So go on. I know I have was it, double Sekhem and a single Nightshade? Is that what's going on? I think so. So I'll swap out after I hopefully kill the bridge and just get my missions done real quick. So far I'm not noticing terrible lag, so I think we're doing good. Remember, this is a test stream for me as well as just a fun stream, so if you notice things like, hey, that looks a little weird, Red, or you should probably change your chat box so it looks like this, let me know. I'm happy to do things. So, yay, we collected from 2 of our missions there, and we're just going to finish up here real quick with Nightshade. But before we do that, I want to talk about the sweet spot. I want to talk about the sweet spot for missions. So if you haven't already seen Mechaneg, who is a member on my team now, thankfully, he's also an avid forum poster, he has broken down what it takes to be most efficient with your rubies versus token missions. So with your first mission, speed it up any time. That's kind of the base value we started with. And then the second mission, we're talking about just under about 2 hours is what I do. And then for the last mission, I believe it's 4 hours. I am going to go check that really quick because Mech is a darling person. So he's a wonderful person. He loves spreadsheets just as much as I do, so I'm very thankful of things. Thanks, Nuffle. I am glad that you like it. I think it's... The hard part, though, is it's kind of like this tealy green, is that my green screen filter picked it up, and so it does look a little bit different. But I told you, I sent a picture to my team on line chat today when I was coloring my hair, and I was laying down, and all my hair was going crazy, so... but yeah, so there's a sweet spot for token missions, so when they get down to a certain amount, I typically rush them. In this case, where I have to rush a mission anyway, I am going to push finish now on the first mission just because what are the chances that I'll be able to knock out 2 with 1 run? So, oh damn it, it's an Aster mission, so we're going to do this a few times. Aster as well has a bit too much XP, but we will run him on an XP base just so we can have some fun and do some more testing with flying. How's that sound? Nightshade, right? I think so. I'm not changing my name to Red Green, by the way. I like Red. Red's much easier. Do you know how long it took me to fight for the name Red? It took me a while. Okay? I'm going to move my big keyboard here so I can get a little bit closer to my iPad. In a previous stream, I mentioned a video of Noctua. Where can I find it? So that video was shared with me online, and that's where I've been able to share it with other people. So if we are line friends, shoot me a message. I'm happy to share that along with what happened. I am also encouraging my teammates, hint hint, nudge nudge, to make some videos in Noctua just so people can see what's going on. I believe at this point I have 3 teammates then, you know, from Noctua. My lighting seems dark. Can you talk about, is it the lighting behind me or in front of me? I'm also wearing a different set of colors, so I wonder if that's different, because I am also really pale. So let me know on that, Texas Rebel. So if you want Noctua videos, holla at me. He's pretty boss. So I am glad this is better, though. That's the hope. So now I will show you guys how I am the most super efficient with tokens that I can be. So we're going to test out my switch here. So we'll do this. I'm going to prepare my display to show my other device. Make sure it loads. Sometimes QuickTime isn't my best friend, but this way we can still hang out and chat. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's fighting me. QuickTime is definitely fighting me. Alright, there we go. We'll switch. Thank you for following, Dollface. Happy to see you. So now you're looking at my main account. So my main account does have some token missions to do, and so this is a time when I'm definitely going to combine them. Yep, I just went from different side of the screen, and so the reason is my alt is on an iPad Air, which is a much more square display, and my, oops, I guess iTunes is doing some weird things. So my alt is a square screen, and then my iPhone, which is my main account, is a larger screen. So in order to best use the space, what I've done is change what the displays look like, so it kind of goes back and forth. Not much front lighting. It seems like you're in a room with a lamp. Well, I do have my LED in front of me, so I don't know. I'm going to move my LED light, see if this helps a little bit. My only worry is that, that's in a weird spot now. My worry is if I do too much lighting in front. Like I said, I am so pale that I am see-through. So I try to be very careful with lighting. I do want to go through and test out some more lighting with natural lights because I did some things with, I had LEDs and a couple of LEDs in front of me, so it's a better display, but that makes my face look terrifyingly, again, see-through. So I need to mess around with some more natural light bulbs and more natural lighting in general. Talked about that I switched sides of the screen, so whatever device I'm using, that's how you can tell the difference. So this wider display here is my main, and when I'm on the right with the square display, that is my alt. I'm glad you think my setup is professional. I worked really hard. I don't have the best equipment. I'm really well aware of that. I don't have the most powerful computer. I am going to play with my frames per second in the next couple of streams and see how high I can get it without getting a terrible lag, but we'll get there when we get there, right? That's the hope. Okay, so this is the advantage to having two accounts. If you do have the advantage of having another account with you, it's great. It's a lot of fun as long as it's not a drain on your team resources. The reason why I actually created my alt accounts were the original hunting debacle. So before they fixed matchmaking, before we had these level 45 farms, one of the most difficult things was hunting. If you were level 190 or up, finding resources was just the biggest pain in the butt. So at Rulith, my team had a system of hunter alts that were anywhere from level 50 to 90 to help us find resources. And once the resource problem was kind of fixed, and it was more fixed too because we have a higher number of higher levels and also the bigger farms and mills, the need for my alt to stay so low is much smaller. But I do find much better resources on this account anyway, just due to the code that protects low levels from being hit by high levels. Just take from someone who takes a lot of photography, but you can still hear me. I'm glad you can hear me really well, so text us if you have any suggestions of what type of lighting you want me to look for. Please holler at me with the things of remembering that I'm a teacher, so budget isn't exactly through the roof like I'd like it is on PG Stream. So I'll get there, bits and pieces, but if you have suggestions, I'd really, really love to hear them. So let's do some token missions. So in this one, on my main account, you can see that I need to get rid of Desi here twice, Desiccating Sand 6 times, and Frost twice. We are going to see if we can get Desiccating Sandstorm to apply when we use other accounts in a minute. So in the meantime, I do have to run Aster twice. We are going to run Aster on my XP base, so I'm loading my alts, which you cannot see yet. And I'm actually going to pull it. Aster doesn't really need XP runs, but I'll do it anyway. I'm going to switch you guys back to that account, though, because it's solos. So switching devices here. So you are going to see me switch sides of the screen once again, as soon as it gets figured out. And that is, again, so I can make sure you can see what I'm doing. So thank you so much for following. That's so kind of you. So going back to my alts, here we go. I've switched sides of the screen just so you can see the screen a little bit larger. So on this, I am going to run an actual XP base for me. My max XP on my alt is 40.4 thousand, and Mal's is definitely the top. Most of my dragons have been able to solo Mal's since they were babies, and that is one of the major advantages to ensuring that your roster is not just caught up for your level, but really on the strong side for your level. So it makes all the difference. So I run Mal's unboosted with almost all of my dragons. I did push invite, there we go, but it was being a little bit slow on my main. So you'll see that my main account is coming in here. Keep the projectiles from hitting me as much as possible, picking up as much as I can. Cloak is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I like teleporting. Teleporting is a fun thing. Hey, thanks for following. Happy to have you on. We're going to do some How soon. I love Howzette so much. What a great spell. So right now we are flying Aster. Aster is my Spring Divine that I got on my alt. This is the only Divine that I got on my alt. I think I got Sage to a super low level just because I wanted some extra rewards in the very last event, and because I had already received the Emerald Stone on Aster. But let's see. I like to cloak. It's so much fun. and I tap that lightning as soon as I'm just out of range. So let me know how the lag is for you guys. See how it compares to my very first stream if you were here and last stream, and let me know if things are better, worse, and if you have suggestions on how I can make it better if you are in that area of knowledge. Coming around the corner. I don't know if I'm very exciting when I fly. My husband sometimes says that I have a very angry looking face whenever I fly. So, hey, I'm glad it's better. That is so good to hear. I don't know I need to practice this flying and reading chat at the same time. I think that's going to be one of the things I'm working on. Hey, QB, nice to see you, darling. Welcome to the lovely place. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that this is better. Makes me so happy. Okie dokie. So let's finish up some token missions here. So we want to do Aster one more time on my alt, and then we do have a few on my main that I'd like to run, but I'm not terribly worried because I can get those after the screen. Do you watch the How Antenna? Of course I do. To get enough throw a spell, or is it pure tech? This is pure tech, I'm afraid. This is all me. This is what we're working on, plus some suggestions of people that drop me messages. So for Aster real quick, I want to get to How, so I'm just going to fly the quick version of Aster. Let's see how this goes. See, I already can tell in this display setup that my green screen doesn't have enough lighting behind me, because you can kind of see the fuzziness going on right behind my chair, right over my right shoulder. So I do need to work on the lighting just a little bit more there. Hey Twilight, welcome to the stream, darling. So we're just going to fly Miss Mercy real quick here with, what was I doing, Aster? Here we go. Kill the base. I'm going to grab a blueberry. I do like blueberries. They're a good fruit, good berry. Alright, so let's go harass some people with How. This is my favorite game. I'm pretty sure my team is sick of hearing about my game by now, but having fun. Hey Coach, happy to have you here, darling. Alright, let's go harass some people with How. So, like I said, my How I have kept at level 1. This is just for giggles. I could feed him anytime I wanted to. I'm learning to fly quite a bit better by having a dragon that I can't rely on just the pure strength, so I actually have to fly better. Back in the day, before all you young'uns came around, about 2 years ago in the game, to about a year and a half ago in the game, before Gold Tier came out and all that whatnot, learning to fly was just a little bit different because of the base setups, because you had typically underpowered dragons, and my team Rulith is old enough to the point where we were in Diamond for quite a bit, when Diamond was actually very first created. So learning to fly against bigger bases than ours, because we didn't really have a whale at that point, really made a difference. And so I learned to fly way better when I had really crappy dragons. So as much as I enjoy being ahead on the breeding curve on my alts, so this is 138, I did get How this event, looking at pushing to get Frost next event. So thanks for the follow, Coach. So let's go harass people with a baby How. Before we harass a real person, I just want to show you real quick his flying style on Miles. So he is level 1. And if you weren't already aware with Mythics, Mythics come with all of their spells right from the get-go. So if you aren't to Sapphire tier yet, or if you just weren't paying attention, I guess, you might not know, but Howzit has all of his spells. So a quick overview real quick. So we have Desiccating Sandstorm, we have this white spell here. Hi, darling. This white spell, I love Desiccating Sand. So it's lockdown, does a little bit of damage as well. We have Crumble to Dust, which is a 2-cost rage spell. The first cast weakens the towers, so they deal less damage, but they take more damage from us. And then we have the 2 How specific spells. These are no other dragons in the game. So Time Shift is a free spell, doesn't cost any rage, and it's a cloak, but it does have a cooldown. The second cast, though, of Time Shift is you can set a marker, which is the original cast, and do a cloak thing and then continue by attacking. Or once you set the marker, you can go forward, and unless a blue stops you or you attack, you can press the Time Shift button again and come back to your starting point. So you'll see me use that twice in this space. And then there is also Borrowed Time. Borrowed time and time shift go hand in hand. So when we fly Hal, you're going to see he's got two lovely antennas sticking him up on either side of his head, and that's kind of like his little time power, I guess, or her time power. So the more of those that you have, the longer borrowed time is. Borrowed time means when you die, how's it continues to attack anyway. So it's a big screw you to defenders because it's like, you killed me, but I'm still going to attack you and kill all your towers. So they go hand in hand though. So if I use time shift and rewind to go back twice, I don't get any borrowed time. So those spells are really, really linked. So we're going to fly Mal's here. You can see that Mal's does not have any mages until the very end. And that's great for Hal. When I fly Hal on other bases, I look for minimal blue mages because it makes things a lot more fun. So hey, thanks, J-Pop. So I'm noticing now that J-Pop is Coach is hosting me, but I need to move that notification and change the display of my host notification because I wasn't expecting that. So, note to Red Self. Okay, I'm boosted. Level 1, how's it? And this is Mal's XP. I am going to bring myself along and kind of get a shot off with Frost to help do my token missions here. So hitting this cannon is the biggest pain in my freaking butt because it hides behind the trees. That annoys me. So sand a bit. So sand, it stays sanded. It stays unable to attack you until you deal damage to it again. My doggies are playing. Attack right when I get over it. I know coming up that this ice on the right is a little bit higher level, so I'm going to blink. So I'm going to press time shift super fast as soon as I can take that down, and then continue attacking again to avoid taking as much damage as I can. So you can see the cooldown on time shift going. Thank you for the follow, darling. Happy to have you here. Alright, let's do some rewind, yo. So right before these hit me, I'm going to press this. Doop-a-doop. I'm going to crumble twice up here. And as soon as this timer that's going around time shift, I'm going to tap this. I'm going to come all the way back. And then while I was in the time shift mode, I can use all of my spells, but I can't attack. The moment I attack, that using time shift cancels. Well, my house stacked now. This is a different house. So my expert how on my main has no runes on it still. This is my baby level 1 how. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to time shift and then tap myself out just to save that rewind just in case. If I can avoid using the rewind, I will, just in case I need borrowed time or in case I need to rewind later. The longer the base and the stronger the base, the more I am careful with how I use my rewind. But I am going to use it quite a bit as a cloak. Because that's the fun part. I used a Cicadian Sandstorm with my baby How to deal a little bit more damage, so it's unnecessary, but he doesn't really have a really high attack power because he's a baby. So I'm going to swap, giving my main a little bit of time to do token missions with Frost here. Go Frosty Frost. So here he comes. Down the screen. Hi Frost, nice to see ya. So I'll show you the runes on my How in just a second because I'm sure that makes a difference. Blueberry time. Boop, boop. So that's maybe How on an XP base. So remember, I am level 138. Just the choice of the level I wanted to be at when I hatched How. And Mal's XP is 212. So now our missions are done, so we're going to get our roster set up to go harass some people. I say harass in a loving, loving way. And there's one person that I have to harass more than anyone else because he told me not to, which means I have to. So in order to get set up for that, I am going to clear my roster out. Let's go into the Dragon's Den. Rave Kanara! How many people out there are old enough in the game to remember Rave Kanara? Oh, this is such an old dragon. She's so adorable. So Rave Kanara, as I call her, Kanaraku or something like that. It's her actual name. Rave Kanara was an event dragon quite a while ago who gave you an inner fire boost if you actually got her to a high enough level. So I can't remember what level my main has her. I think it's around 12. And you could get up to like a 2 or 3% bonus for inner fire. It was great! And you didn't even have to fly using her in events. You just had to simply own her. I can't remember if she had to be on the roster or not, but it made eventing feels so much more worthwhile to see so much more reward coming back. So, hey, thanks for following. Happy to have you here. So, Rave Kanara just happened to be up in my den. So, I am going to clean up my roster real quick. Scroll through my dragons. So, I leave Nightshade and Sec on just in case my main crashes. Oop, I guess I'm leaving Aster because Aster's healing. So what I mean by my main crashing is sometimes my iPhone disconnects. So, yes. Checking out. Hey, happy to have you guys. Yeah, J-Pop was just streaming, or Coach was just streaming before this. Caught a bit of it, but then I had to fly away and get my setup started for here. So we're going to turn off Scorchill here, and we have to find where Zam is. Is he gold? Oh, there you are. And then turn off the rest. Tengun and Idro. So on this account, I think I have Tengu Max, and I've snow dropped one before. Hey, nice to see ya. Alright, so our roster should be pretty clear, except for a couple of hunters here. Yep. So I'm actually going to get Aster off of here. Because I don't want to get an Aster mission. So now we're left with just 3 dragons plus a fantastic Ryu. So we have Nightshade and Sekhem are there as my backup, just in case my main crashes. I do follow all my ults runs with my main, and my goal here is to set up the base as best I can. Depending on the base, I might solo it. I have been soloing a handful of 190s to 210s with level 1 Hal, but those are pretty bad base setups most of the time. Definitely not defended, and so I use my ult just to clean up. So I'm learning how to lead again, brand new. So the reason I'm practicing this way is, 1, I'm not farming people, and 2, I'm getting better XP. And lastly, I'm flying with a very underpowered dragon against bases that are way over its power, so I have to rely a lot more on skill and practice over sheer power. So before we get started, we have to go harass someone. If any of you can figure out who I'm about to harass, type it in chat. It's a good friend. It's a darling friend of mine. Any guesses yet? It's on Digital Chaos. Great team, by the way. I love them. Good people. No, I'm not going to hit a door. I'm going to hit my BFF Spooky here. Spooky is a silent participator on the forums, except for in beta, and I made him, yeah, QB's got it. I made him a breeding path so many moons ago, and he didn't forget. We just kind of started chatting from that point on. So yeah, Spooky's base is hard for my baby How to hit, simply because we have that Rage Drain, little level 4 blue up front, and he does have 2 blues on the long. I don't think this is going to go very well. I'm definitely going to need myself to help clean up, but Spooky posted in line today to me. He's like, don't hit my base on your stream. So I guess I have to hit his base on my stream. So hi, Spooky. You know I love ya. We are going to boost just because why not? There's a couple other people on here that I enjoy hitting. I'll come hit ya with my baby How. So I know that blue's coming up. I'm going to pray and cross my fingers that it doesn't super shot me here. Hey, look at that luck. Alright, so I know the blue's coming up on the left. And I want to take that down as quickly as I can so I can time shift. And my goal is to take out that blue. There we go. We got that blue down. Alright, so now we have borrowed time up. So I have successfully disabled the mages on his long island, which leaves it a lot easier to clean up on my big account here. So I'm going to fly with my unboosted Desi. He's coming up here soon. I have to figure out a better way for me to switch devices pretty quick. I think I would need another device for that, but I'm not sure. Because that'd be really neat where I could just completely switch devices so you guys could see me go and I could just tap a button. So this is what I'm going to investigate now. I just decided this. I love Desi. Desi looks like a lovely little hummingbird coming up here. So, Spooky, I do this because I love you. I am going to stop before I hit 70%, just because I love Spooky. So at 67, let's see how close we can get. Oh, heal, heal. Yeah. So I'm going to swap out just for fun. I can hockey to change scenes. Hey, good to know, coach. I will definitely program in, which means that I'm going to have my keyboard nearby. My keyboard's off to the side now. So I'm going to figure that out. Thanks for the tip, darling. Blueberry time. So if there's anyone else out there that you want me to hit you with my baby how, shoot me a message in-game to my alt account. My alt account is the Red Delilah, the exact same way that it is on stream down here, so you can see it. It's at the, there we go, the bottom corner on your left. Shoot me a message in-game. I'll come hit ya. Texas. Oh, I'm getting Ryu. This is one of my favorite things. I'm going to take a rage, though. Texas, you're a hoot. You're an absolute hoot. Let's just watch him fly. I love when people hit me with Ryus. It cracks me up. What are you doing, you silly bug? Not even attacking. This hurts. Oh, bye, baby Ryu. Thanks for the attack boost. That's a lot of fun. You gonna hit me with something good now? Oh, no. Thanks for the visit, Texas. I appreciate it. Care to comment on the spells up for vote? They're all crap. But I'm going to put an asterisk next to that. I like how they've recently come out with Ember for lower levels, and if this dragon was designed for lower levels purely, like there is no tier, I'd say, above like gold or platinum, I don't think it's bad. But for the Emerald Obsidian level, there aren't really any good options. So sorcerers need to deal a lot of damage, avoid getting hit with mages, and really set up a base well or clean up a base well. So I think the spells that they've chosen to do are pretty weak as a combination, and I won't be getting that dragon. But if it is for lower tier players, then at least there's some new spells. For some reason, they're really keen on Nocturnal Fissure. So, yeah. Yeah, so Dino's back with his little account. You should go say hi to him. So Dino1983, he's on my team. So he's around. He is around with his little account, for those of you that know Dino. So this is Dino here. Hey, thanks for following. Happy to have you here. So what tier should you be at level 52? This gives me an opportunity to test my new thing in chat. Are you ready for this? Oh, another follow. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Are you ready? Oh, I need to remember what my command is. I was learning this from Coach the other day. Let's see if this works. Ha! It did work. Oh, how exciting. So if you click that link that is coming in chat right now, that is the Are You Up to Date with Your Dragons chat. So you can check out the Rulith webpage. That's linked everywhere. You're happy to find me in game. So it's theladyred.wixsite.com/Rulith. And there is a dragon check-in. So if we go over and check the check-in page, that's a little odd, isn't it? But let's take a look. The check-in page. Click. Should have these things set up on my own, shouldn't I? I'll think ahead. So the check-in at level 56, these are the dragons that I recommend personally to have at level 56 before you consider moving on and clocking your level. So that would be level 22 Amarok, Expert Ith, level 14 to 16 Hugin, like level 10 to 12 Etten, level 14 to 16 Danzig, level 12 Munin, and then Karna, Erd, and Nyx are optional depending on your path. So my dragon check-in page is really built based on my breeding paths. My breeding paths for red through green are definitely not the cheapest. I will never claim that they are the cheapest, most efficient path. My breeding paths, red through green, which can be found on my website, are really built to give you a really strong roster so you feel like a mini badass. And so you can take down levels much higher than you. So when you're in your 50s, you should definitely be in green tier and getting your green legendaries if you haven't already gotten one. I'm going for first Sapphire at 108. That's not in your path. I think it's impossible. No, that's exactly right. So you can get your first legendary at 108 when you breed Kelvin and Vulcan together if you so choose, or various other options. Level 108 is the minimum level in order to get your legendary platinums breedable. So this account, I got Sekhem the moment I turned level 108 as well. So well done, Nemi. I'm very proud of you. Get it? Proud Nemi. But yeah, that's exactly where you should be in my own personal opinion. So again, like I say, I'm slightly overpowered on my alt, being 138 with, I have 3 legendary sapphires now, and I just got my first mythic sapphire. Thanks for the rubies, Texas. Appreciate it. I think I'm punny. Nemi, I'm glad you think I'm punny too. It's exciting. So, let's go find a poor, unsuspecting victim, shall we? Because no one volunteered. So I'm going to look at my max XP because that makes things more fun. And what I'm looking for here is a single blue on your Long Island. If you have a single blue on your Long Island, it's kind of open hunting for how. So we're going to give it a go. Let's see here. I'm definitely going to want to sand that blue. We're going to see how this goes. I might have to do a double time shift on the Long Island just to get through. So let's find out. We're going to have a good time. Again, I am bringing my main as backup just because, well, that's the advantage of having 2 accounts. So I'm sorry, Honda. Don't have a bad base or anything. I just like hitting people with baby how. So that's another thing. If you just saw that Flak tower was under construction, we could still see it. So this is a new thing with one of the recent updates. If you have a Flak or if you have anything under construction, move it to the back of your base. So that way I can't take advantage of it. Could I attack your mini? Yeah, totally. Send me a message, the Red Delilah in game, and I will come hit you, darling. All right. Ooh, this is a good... I think we got a good one. I think we got everything, yeah? Look at that beautiful Long Island now. So what I'm going to do right now is getting enough firepower to take these down is one of the disadvantages of my tiny how. So I'm going to take down bits, get myself ready for the next island. Alright, so I know there's no red on the next island. How come I'm keeping how at level 1? Because it's hilarious. It is absolutely stinking hilarious. No, there's more than that, Nemi. So I'm keeping how at level 1 because having an underpowered dragon hitting higher level bases is really forcing me to be more critical with my attacking and think a lot more so I can plan and prepare and lead with skill rather than leading with firepower. At my level 138, I definitely have more firepower than I need compared to a lot of people my level. So using this opportunity to learn how to fly again is really helpful. So there we go, 83%, over half health with how here. And I think that was a pretty solid lead because I believe everything we left behind is sanded. So I'm going to take over here. My Frost has another mission to do on my main. So we're going to take a look at Frosty here. Oop, I had a lightning undone. So leaving things sanded is one of the best things that you can do for your follow if you're not already aware. So that applies to Sekhem, that applies to Howzit as well, and other dragons like Zaru. So what tier do you get how at? How is in Sapphire tier. So like Nemi said, he is a Sapphire Mythic. His parents going forward are Sekhem and Scorchel. Oh, sorry, Itaru and Scorchel. I'm glad Nemi corrected me before I could even finish my sentence. So the paths that I have posted typically come in different sets that are built on the title based on the title based on the Garnet mythic that you'll get. I really recommend my A and A paths if you haven't already checked. Just a brief conversation about breeding paths quickly. Let me get this up here. I have to remember what my hotkey is. I'm so bad at this. I'm so proud of Coach that he can do this so easily. There we go. So my breeding paths have popped up there. There's the Google link for you, so that way you can do it. No, Nemi, you're right. So if you haven't already seen my breeding paths, we do only have about 55 to 60% of Obsidian tier out, which is the new tier. So I would really highly recommend that you do not pick a breeding path based on Obsidian, because that's like, I don't know, choosing a job before you even know what the hours are or the pay is. Like we don't know enough about it. So if you are not already in Emeralds, I would really take a look and stop at what the first Emerald Mythic is. Nier is one of my favorites to take a look at breeding paths. So breeding paths there, it's really, how to say this nicely, there aren't a lot of choices once you get in Sapphire Up. I actually drew a picture that I posted on the forums. Here's my picture. I'll show this to you. Are you ready? Are you ready to see my hand-drawn things? I do everything hand-drawn. Isn't this ridiculous? Absolutely ridiculous. So if you see over here, this huge conglomeration of lines is everything that you can use to breed a sapphire or a platinum legendary. See all those massive amounts of lines? The dots themselves are each breeding combination. And then if you go to this piece of paper, this is the sapphire choices. Platinum, sapphire. So sapphire really is a dark, terrifying, terrible brick wall of a breeding path place. So really pick your breeding paths based on what's strong for you. So this breeding event, I spent a lot of tokens and I started using a lot of my rubies and all of my mystic frags. So if you want to take a quick look at what my points are right now in this breeding event, all I did was how I haven't touched anything else. I am currently at 10.5 thousand points for this event. I skipped last event entirely. I'm an extremely active player, as you all know. So when you are picking breeding paths, please pick breeding paths that are strong. If you are someone that does follow my breeding paths, unless you are someone that spends quite a bit or is willing to rely purely on divine dragons because you have a bunch of them, I would really recommend that you follow my ANA paths. There are 5 of them out now. Take a look at them. I follow personally one of my ANA paths. I have the option of which one I'd like to go down because I only have the start of it done. So I have Second, Scorchel, I backbred Quates, and then I got Itaru, and then finally this event I got Howzet. So try to encourage my new teammates to use the paths. Oh, please do. And if they need anything else, don't hesitate to ask for custom paths. Like I've spoken about before, my red to green paths especially are more expensive, though compared to gold Hi, Tony. Compared to gold tier and green tier, they're not nearly as expensive as they could have been. Thanks for rying me, Tony. So I'd really recommend them, but if they are looking for something different, or if they even have a slightly different set of dragons compared to my breeding paths, please shoot me a message. I'm happy to make custom breeding paths for people. What started my obsession with breeding paths? So back in the game, about 2 years ago, Amoeba didn't exist. Nobody had the game files yet, and in-game wikis were the most heavily guarded secret ever. So in my in-game wiki, we actually had collected from oh, Tony's cracking me up. Our in-game wiki, we had collected all these different pairs. Like, people tried these 2 dragons together and we figured out what the offspring were. We had no idea about the percentages, about the statistics, about the chances. And so we made a lot of mistakes early on. So many mistakes that I really regret. And then thankfully, Amoeba came out with the game files and it just blew our minds. Because now we know you want to breed as many dragons as at once, especially in Platinum tier and below. But we thought that the fewer dragons that showed up, the better the odds were, which is completely wrong. So I created breeding paths originally for my team once I found Amoeba because I didn't want them to make the same mistakes I was. I was so bad that to the point I was in my 90s and Huggin was my main flyer. I was really embarrassed by that, and I don't want other people to go through that. So I created these breeding paths for my team. And then I had a lot of times where there'd be these low levels that want help, and I don't have space on my team, so I just started posting breeding paths to other people and sending them out online. And then finally the wiki was too difficult to maneuver in game. If you haven't actually seen an in-game wiki, they're awful. So I started posting them online and I made a website, and then I started making them public purely because I don't want people to make the same mistake I did. I don't want you to be underpowered. I don't want you to feel like you can't fly, and I don't want you to ever have that feeling that, you know, there's so much frustration because you can't take down bases you level really easily. So my breeding paths are purely built for strength, and then in the Sapphire and above, I tried to do a mix of efficiency with strength. So the reason that my ANA paths are, in my opinion, more superior than my other paths is the dragons that you're getting in order are completely different. So my ANA paths start with Sekhem, great dragon. Scorchel, great dragon. Itaru's not great, but necessary to get Howzet. After Howzet, I'm getting Frostbiter. I'm going to be getting Zaru. I'm going to be getting all these dragons that I really enjoy. And when it comes to Sapphire Mythics, you know, we did polls, and Garnet Mythics, we did polls on what were the better dragons. And so breeding paths are my obsession because I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. That's basically it. Plus, spreadsheets are really pretty, and I enjoy digital organization. So. All right, we have some mails. Let's see if any of them for you guys. Tony, you crack me up. Coach, I don't know if that's a sarcastic message or not. Don't hit me. So I won't hit you just in case. So, all right, Texas. Coming at you. Do you want Baby How or do you want something else? Storm. Oh, no. Storm kick you out. That's no fun. All right. Oh, you have a little level 83. Yes, sarcastic hit you. I'll hit you in a second. All right, Texas. I'm going to hit you with Baby How. Are you ready for this? This is ready for this badassery that's about to come at you. No boost. Just because I love you, Tex. I'll bring my big with me. I hope the storm's not too bad there, Texas. Don't get hurt or shocked or get damage done to your devices and whatnot. Dance party. So a lot of people too have asked me how I fly, and it really depends on what device I'm using. So right now I'm using my iPad Air, and I use anywhere from 1 finger to 3 fingers, only on my right hand though. On my left hand I'm using purely for the spells. So I always have my right pointer finger and my thumb, or both depending on the dragon, hovering over spells, so that way I can cast them at a moment's notice and avoid things, you know, damage. I don't know. It's fun. So 3 to 2. You can usually tell in my shots. Avoid that fireball there. Tex, I love your baby base. It's cute. Okay. Oh, I got over 70%. I should have given you rubies. I'm sorry. I got distracted. Towers that we're building not show up. I wonder, Texas, that some people's are. So I wonder why yours aren't. We've really got to check that out. We have to find the reason behind this. Have we talked about the pronunciation of obsidians yet? We really need to get back to this discussion. I'll hit you with Baby How after I hit Coach. All right, Coach. Are you ready for me? So this is a level 1 dragon. I hope you're excited. All right. Let's see, Coach. You have the mega short bases. Green Research Breeding Combination. If you check out amoeba.com, that's always the best place to go. But otherwise, let me pull it up real quick. Green combination is Vicious Pus Pandy, and that'll give you Garzev for about 800 tokens apiece. You can defend if you want. I won't even bring my big account. Are you ready for this, Coach? So I'll give you a second because I know the stream is delayed to know that you can defend. Go ahead. You're going to rip my How apart if you're defending. That rage, he doesn't do as well. All right, let's see. Got the rage drain there. Hopefully I can avoid those with a little bit of time shift, though. All right, let's give this a go. Doop, doop, doop. I'm not even taking my big account. Bring it on, Coach. Alright, so like I said, we're going to do a blink here in a second if he does do a mage super shot, but he might be watching. I'm not sure. Alright, I'm preparing Sandstorm ahead of time, so lets my rage build up. So, oh crap, he's dropping boosts too? Ugh. Just flying over all your stuff. This is my borrowed time. I love borrowed time, so we saw an example of that. Alright, here comes Sec, darling. That Flak is mean. I don't like it. Oh, I didn't memorize the back half of your base. Shoot! Damn it! Ah! Hate your farms. Farms are dumb. Vicious and Pandy. Vicious. Does Nyx do it too? I don't like your short base. Not with my dragon styles. It hurts. But well done. I like your base, coach. Doop, 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 doop. Alright. Yeah, here comes baby How. Are you ready, darling? I love baby How. Oh, and I have to show you guys my runes on How as well. See if we can do a bit of rewinding and stuff for you. And you can see I'm going to go back to the original spot where I started to rewind. And you can see more so too why I should have thought a little bit more ahead of time. How does not have a lot of health. How does not do a lot of damage. He is just a wee baby. Good dragon or not. Taking all my rage, girl. And personally, when it comes to green research, be careful with what you wish for, because research is not typically the best thing to waste your tokens on. So for my green research, I just went for the XP boost, and that's pretty much it. So let me check up on chat here. Do you ever use borrowed time times 2? Sometimes. It depends on the base, really. It depends how much rage they've taken from me. Declaring war tonight, doing some research on base. Tony, make me nervous. Okay. Is there a question there, Tony? Is it okay if I defend? I want to see how bad I'll do. Yeah, proud enemy. Yeah, dude. Declare, man. Declared. Please defend. I'm coming at ya. Defend! So I'm going to wait a few seconds because I know that the stream is a bit delayed. So I'll give you a few seconds to know that, yeah, hell yeah, you better defend. So, didn't want to drop boost. Totally understandable. Alright, here we go. Are you ready? Baby How. I'll break out Expert How in a little bit too and talk more on him. So, you have a building under construction, it looks like. Enemy, right? Alright, let's see what we're going to do. I think we're going to rewind twice. First on that little island and once on the long. Alright, let's see how this goes. Boop. Not even bringing my big account either. Just because how much I love you guys. Doop, doop, doop. Building up rage. Building up rage. Alright, you got one blue coming up. So there, just another blink spot to make your cannon projectile go away again. And don't worry about how these bases are faring against How right now, because remember at this level, it's completely impossible for people your level to have How. So don't worry too much. And this is my baby, my loving child, one of my favorite dragons. Also because he's gorgeous. Like, absolutely gorgeous. So if you look on either side of How's head, you can see that he no longer has any, like, stones next to it, little antenna, which means he has no time powers left. So one thing I do want to point out, if you have your farms grouped together like this in floors, make sure you're putting it at the front of your long island, so that way the defender has a harder time and less time to take them down. So if you're putting them all four together on your last long island, put them at the front, so that way your attacker's trying to take down the damaging towers and your farms can kind of heal you and save you a little bit. So put your farms at the front. There are a lot of farm setup things that I think we've talked about before, and a lot of people. So I will show you the brief reason why. So on my own base. So the first base is my alt here, my 138. I have it in the front here because people are still going to be worried about taking down these not very high level towers, but they're going to see these things hitting them and they're going to, oh crap, I got to take these down. And then they typically leave, especially with hunters, less shots and less time to take down these farms and mills. So make sure your farms and mills are maxed. Every fortification event that comes up, max your farms and mills, no matter what. So it really makes a huge difference. So this is one setup. And what I will actually end up doing when I decide to level again is I will put lightning towers back here. My long island, as you'll notice, is missing one very key ingredient. Flak cannons. It does not have one. The reason is flak cannons came out after I decided I didn't want to level much anymore because I wanted to stay a low level. So for fortification events, I built my totem just for points if I think it's necessary for the sigils or to help my team, but I do not touch any major XP tower. So I really love my flags. I'll show you my main base setup here in a second, but these lightning towers here, these 25s, which are low level on my base, are going to be going back here on the back of my long. And the reason is lightnings have the longest reach, so those lightnings will be taking down people as they're trying to hit my farms and mills. Now another setup, I'm going to switch devices here for a second and show you my main account. Boop, 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 boop. Blueberry time. I like blueberries. They're really good. I don't know how you guys feel about berries. If you guys have a favorite berry, I would dare say I think blueberries are my favorite berry. Alright, so now we are at my main account. Let's take a quick look at my main base. I recently just uncapped my towers about 2 breeding runs ago, I believe. So I was stuck at 45 for a long time, but now I think I can hit 47s. So let's chat about this. Let's see, I got told the opposite. This building event just focusing on mage towers. Mage towers are big. Don't need flags on long islands. I completely disagree 100%. Wouldn't Sage just thunderstorm your long island? Nope. So the reason Sage has no shot at my base and I drop expert Sages easily is a mage or rage drain island. So rage drain island here is going to rip Sage apart. Any dragon that naturally has thunderstorm has no hope. So I'm going to take all their rage. Most dragons, if they're attacking me in war or anything where people are actively defending, 2 mage super shots, they have no rage to come and hit my long island. If I'm actively defending, I can drop a ton of dragons. I haven't dropped any obsidians yet. Nobody's attacked me with an obsidian, so I'm going to harass Tony to do that for me. But they have no rage coming at my long island. And then I have this 47 storm protecting my 47 flak, which is also protected by my 47 ice. And then they also have to take down my 45 blue, my 45 red in order to cast a spell to do damage to my flak. So a couple wars ago, we were fighting a team Sensation, if anyone's familiar with them. They are an incredibly organized team, and I'm very impressed with Sensation. So they kicked our butt, and I was really impressed with them. It was a super close war. No, we don't have it anymore. Sensation did a really great job, but my base was the only base that didn't 5-flame. So that includes all of our 300s. We have about 5 or 6 300s on the team, 300 pluses with 50 towers. And the simple reason is because I'm always on, especially in the summer, so they could never catch me without at least myself defending and all those extra super shots. But I was just spamming the storm, the flak, and the ice. They could not rip through. They had absolutely no shot of breaking through. So with Sage thunderstorming my long island, they usually don't make it that far. So you see these 47s through 45s on my long island. These are all 47s through 45s. The new flak tower, I will replace that red, and I'll have to switch around my setup a bit. But if they can get to my long island here, I mean, they're looking at a 39, another 39, 36, and then 28s. They're going to rip through it no matter what. So if they manage to get through the first part of my base, the long island's not going to stop them, to be completely honest. I focus all of my leveling up on my long. Hey, thanks for following, darling. So the other farm setup that I wanted to show you that my main has is the farm setup on the Perch Island. So the reason I have this is purely for war. So the goal in war is, I don't care if they're taking my resources, obviously, is I want to stop them from getting 5 flames. And so if they manage to get through my long island, I have this base here, which has the HP boost from warriors on the Perch, but I can just, you know, heal these. Ooh, I have a lot of resources. I can heal these max level farms and mills, and if you drop hammers on it, two defenders dropping hammers until Obsidian came out, you're not taking down my farms. So they were only 4 flaming my base because of this. So I really think it depends on your level and what the needs are for your base. But for the higher levels, so this is 251, and I am in Sapphire 1. I don't know what leagues you guys are. So taking down here. So I will use Tony as the example. So love Santa Monica. Hi Tony, I love you. So I am typically defending myself with 2 accounts that I both control. So I can perfectly time hammers on my own base to really ensure that, well, you're not taking my stuff down. So Tony was hitting me a little bit. He hit me with an expert kin, and I dropped expert kin. And actually, Zam was the hardest one for me to drop from this season. He will definitely attest to that, because I couldn't take away his rage. And if I couldn't take away his rage, he was, you know, using all of his spells, and there was no issue with him taking, I think he got like 47 before I got him down with your Zam, but I dropped your kin like at 17% with active defenders. So I really think a Flak is important to have on your long island. I am also in the very small percentage of players that likes my Flak here. Alright, come at me, bro. I'll show you my rationale here. So with How coming, you're about to lose all your rage. So without rage, How suffers significantly. I have all these extra super shots, so I'm not going to let you fly slow just to build up rage, simply because How with rage is dangerous. And then I'm going to load up here my front 4, not even dropping boost because it's How. And without rage, you're going to struggle to take things down. And as you're focusing on taking down that blue, I'm just going to be focusing on keeping my front half alive. So, yep, borrowed time. Good flying, though. My base is hard to take with defenders. I think you did a really great job. But as you can see, the double blue is very important for How. So, again, up front, I have the 3 towers that I want up. So unless you're using Crumble to Dust on me, I'm keeping my towers up. Ah! Damn you with kin. Boop, boop. So there's this thing about hammer spam. I'm doing this, Texas, because I love you. So coming up here, he's going to have to take down my farms. And I'm using Texas as an example, so sorry about this. I'm not going to use all of my hammers simply because I don't have a ton. But with these farms here, you can see he has a sorcerer, he has the dodo. And if I'm dropping repairs, he can't really take it down as easily, especially because he has a sorcerer. And so that makes a really big difference with having my farms there. The little bit of the HP boost with the Perch and things like that. So, let's see. I drop hammers fast. I discussed that, Tony. Yes, I do. What's the fastest way to level up responsibly? Make sure your dragons are caught up to yourself. But if you're leveling up, make sure that you are not evenly leveling your base. What I mean by that is you can tell on my long island, I just showed you I have 47 45s, but on my back island I have like 28s. So you really want to focus all of your leveling up in a very, very tight, constricted area. So see you soon, Jimmy. I'll be in game in about 25 minutes. We don't have much longer left on the stream because unfortunately I do have to pop in and prepare for war coming up soon because never know when wars will be declared, right? So I have to pop in and get everything set up. So that's a little bit going on. Thanks to the rubies. Sorry I used a few boosts on you, Texas. It was really good flying. But hopefully you can see the need for, what do you want to call it? To blues. So Tony is now referencing my quick guide from Orange to Emerald fast. I have locked that breeding path. So if you would like to use that breeding path, you do have to send me a message online or in-game explaining why you want to use it. If you are a new player, this is your first account, and you do not spend heavily, I will not unlock the path for you because I think I would do more harm than I would good. But if you are someone that's looking to speed level through a lot of levels and you're looking to drop some money, or it's an alt account where you always have a big account to back you up, I will definitely open up my breeding path for you. I just need your email so I can open it just to you. So only reason I attacked, so visual. I gotcha. All right, so we did some house stuff. Let me know if you guys have any more questions about base stuff. I don't claim to be the best person at base. You can see my Adobe is doing some weird things over here. I really got to clear my dock and lock this, but we'll take care of that in a bit. So another mental note there. So base building, flax. Like I was saying, I'm in the minority where I like my flak in the center because it has that really heavy protection there. Another really great setup is if you see something similar on the small island, which is what I recommend, especially for a lot of big players. So I'm going to flip this around. If this was a small island, what I would want would be the red in the center there. I'd actually put the flak in the back. And one of the reasons I recommend, and then put the ice in front of the flak. One of the reasons I recommend this setup with the flak in the middle of the back is it's better with defenders. So it's not good undefended. Absolutely not great undefended. But with defenders, you're really able to spam some storms and repairs in the flag to keep it alive. And people are trying to take down that mage so they can do more damage to it rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to take down this flag because it's hurting me the most. So I typically like this a lot more with the flag in the center there. I think it makes a big difference if you are able to defend yourself actively. So we are going to switch devices again real quick. I want to go back to my baby. My baby is a lot more fun for me to fly. I don't know. I think it's entertaining hitting people with a level 1 HOW. It's one of my favorite things. Alrighty. So my alt, you can see, has a drastically different setup from my main. It doesn't have any flax. I'm not too pleased with the base anymore because the flak towers came out and I planned this whole base before flak towers existed. So shame on me for assuming PG would keep things the same. Really am learning a lot from that, but I have leveled here. I have my 35 as my cap at this point until I get 2 more sapphire eggs. I have to level my builder's hut a bit. So I have my 35s all in this front area and plus an additional 35 back here. And that is really the core strength of my base. And as soon as I hatch Frost, I will be using all my clocks and leveling like a crazy person, because once I have Frost, I'll have How and Frost, and then all of my divines have the Garnet Stone, except for Nightshade, of course, because Nightshade was not offered with the stone. So let's go do some more damage. I like attacking with the baby How. It's a lot of fun. So, boop. Let's see, who else could we attack today? Like I said, I'm checking for the blue mages. So if you only got one blue mage, I'm having fun. If you have multiple blue mages, I'm really hesitant. And if you have a Rage Drain Island like this base does, I'm also really hesitant because it tends to do a little bit more damage. So I'm going to look for someone that doesn't have a Rage Drain Island. All right, let's give this one a go. We're going to have some fun. Whee! I'm bringing my main with me. Because why not? Oh, we have a defender. Save the rage by blinking. So I push time shift and then I tapped again immediately, so it gets rid of the mage super shot in the air is the goal here. And I do have that cooldown that I have to deal with, but I will deal with that as it comes. Sanding everything in its mother. Sanding 2 at a time if the spots arise. Again, that lightning has the longest reach, so I'm going to take that down, take down that mage so it doesn't hurt me. Sanded long! Woohoo! Ugh, missed that red by a bit. Oh, darn. Oh, that red has a sliver of health. I'm not too pleased with that. Alright, we do have a blue coming up, but it is a smaller island. So I'm going to sand the flak, shift, rewind. Whoop. I think we're doing alright considering this is a level 1 dragon. What do you guys think? Boop, 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 boop. I'm enjoying myself. Oh, this flak's gonna hurt if I don't be careful. So as soon as it fires, I am using time shift to avoid getting attacked. See, these farms, I would normally have to focus on making sure those farms aren't, or attacking the tower so they're not killing me and not those farms. But, hey, okay, so can we acknowledge this is a level, 200-something base, and we just flew it with baby How, and we missed a single red mage by Sliver. So this is another reason why I love How. He's one of my favorite dragons in the game, hands down. You can see that is all we missed. So I'm going to go in here with Desi because I need him for a token mission on my big. I'm going to clear out that. And then we're good. So, what was that? 2-something that we did? Not a terrible base whatsoever, but it's a single blue mage that really made it a lot easier. So, level 1 How, having fun. So, again, I leave How at level 1 so I can learn to fly better. I think he could be like 6 or 7 at this point, and I hatched him 2 days ago. I have a hard time remembering. So before we continue here, what I'm going to do is check my resource chat for my people. So that's an old one. Let's see. Alright, no one needs food right now, so I guess I'm going to offer in resource chat. See if anyone claims it. Relithians, if you're watching, take my food. I have about 700-800 that I can give you if you guys want. So, yeah, do you guys have any questions? Anything that you want to see? So, I have a couple of things. You've seen my roster and my alts on my main I have through Desi. I don't have any Emerald Mythics yet. And we only have about 15 minutes left on the stream, so ask away. Any question at all. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about my hair. I'm kidding. Not really. You guys see my new hair? It's got like this tealy blue. You can't even appropriately like love the color because I have this stupid filter on to get rid of the green screen. So I'm pretty bummed about that, but it is what it is. Consider defense options against Noctua. There aren't any. Take its rage. As all I can say is take its rage and heal. So I've been thinking about this as well, Nuffle with Noctua. So for those of you, I have to switch accounts so we can see that real quick. Switching to my main because my alt is the breeding castle is under, and I don't feel like going through the breeding event to take a look at the castle there. So let's take a look at the obsidians. So like I said, we're missing 3 of the obsidians, so we're missing a significant chunk. So Noctua is a freaking beast. We have a couple of Relithians with Noctua. Cloak, great, everyone likes Cloak. The vines are what's killing us. So this is a white spell. It can hit 4 towers at once, deals a lot of damage, but it also stops them in their tracks. It's an insane spell, and then Consume is wonderful as well. So stopping Noctua, make Noctua use all its taps so it can't use Consume, because Consume is tied to how much attack power you have left, or how many taps you have left on the hunter. But take its rage so it cannot use Noxious Vines, because once you get Noxious Vines down, this is like How on steroids, so it's insane. I changed my base a bit, mind looking at it again. Enemy, make sure you restart your device before I take a look. Make sure that those changes hit the server. Twilight, can you help me with my base, please? Sure, send me a message in-game, darling, and I will take a look. And what QB said, Drain Rage and Pray. So I swapped the lightnings in the front, enemies saying, to the back of the home island and move farms to the front. Pray, and Nuffle says pray. I see it, might as well go eat a sandwich. Oh, I mean, we can stop. One of the advantages to being in Sapphire 1 is we don't have as many whales as Diamond is going to have, so seeing Noctuas, especially high level, is going to be minimal. I know that on our team we have a couple of Noctuas anywhere from level 8, and I think Poppy's hit the 20s today, so if you store a tower and put it back, it also updates your base to the server. Hey, Bunny, look at you dropping some knowledge up in here. I'm impressed with you right now, Bunny. Super impressed. Alright, so we're taking a look at enemy. Let's see. Oh, I have to switch accounts again. Going back to my alt. Hey, Bunny, how's it going? So, Bunny made a pretty epic breeding path the other day. I was impressed with her. She did a really good job. So, we're going to take a look at enemy again. I can be brutal, that's fine. I'm always brutal. I'm red. Alright. Taking a look here. So one thing that I've noticed right away, enemy, is that you have split up your highest level towers. So you want to keep your high levels together rather than avoiding them or dividing them. So that way they can deal all of their damage at once and everyone's trying to avoid taking their damage but getting damaged by these. So you have these 27s appears to be your highest level. A couple of times you have 227 fires, 227 ices, and then a couple of low 20s. So I would make sure that all of those 27s are on your long. So I would do double ice, double fire. So put them like kitty corner, I guess, from one another. So make sure that the ices aren't next to each other, but they're at least, you know, that diagonal apart. Put them on your long for sure. I would not concern yourself so much with that first island. You could definitely make that a mage or rage drain island with just mages would be good. I would do a similar setup to my main, actually. So let me pull that up for you so you can see it in this type of view. All right. So if you take a look here, this is one of the things I would suggest for your base because your base actually has very similar towers to mine for the long island. So put your flak here in the center, give it a go, see how you like it, and put red mages and a blue mage around it. Storm right next to protect it, ice to protect it. The ice back here will also reach the flak and the storm. Put the fire there and then another fire kitty back. So kind of try that first. I would definitely do that. Put your next strongest couple of towers with 1 or 2 mages on this small island. Put your farms at the start of your long and then your lightnings back, and then store everything else. So I would really encourage you, enemy, while you're a low enough level, to adjust your base so it's no longer than mine. So you'll notice that my base stops at the long island, then I just have the rage drain. So I would really, really recommend that you go to a base that's no longer than mine. I personally regret having a base this long myself. I wish that I had about 3 or 4 less towers in back, because then my base level isn't artificially inflated. So better than earlier, just got home from work. Well, welcome home from work, Bunny. Happy to see you back. 6 hours is kind of long for a 95. I agree, Nuffle. I would definitely shorten it up. So I like bases, personally, where the bulk is on the long island. And then if you only have like 3 towers left over, 4 or 5, on this back, that's perfect. But this is really wonderful. It gives you more rune options when they go. I think I did it all right. What are you talking about, Twilight? Are you talking about your base, darling? Let's take a look. Yep, so Twilight mailed me on my main. So we're going to switch again. I really need to set up that hotkey like Coach said. That'll make things just a little bit easier. So we're pulling up Twilight here on my main as soon as QuickTime decides that it wants to switch devices. There we go. Alright, Twilight, let's take a look. I really like how your base is small and condensed. That makes a big difference. Alright. So that level 8 flak, I'm still not sure. I think we talked about this last time. I'm not sure how much damage it's doing because of its level. Like I said, I didn't have flak cannons when I was your level. I didn't even have fire turrets and ice turrets when I was your level, so it's harder for me to say. I would consider putting that flak in back until you build it up more and putting that 14 fire in its place. And then just have mages on that first island to do Rage Drain. So the key to Rage Drain islands is just having mages. So that way your attacker can't leave any towers behind. I've got 5 islands, but yeah, I'll give it a go. It's only because I got mythics and legendaries on my islands that I'm reluctant to change. I understand. Hey, thanks for following. I totally agree. So one of the things that I did before I changed setups on my own accounts is I changed the setup and saw how I liked it for a week before I changed my runes, because changing runes can be really expensive, especially if you have all these good runes on it. So the other thing you can do is you can really work within the rune setup that you have and make adjustments that way. So give it a go, see what you have, see where your strength is, see where your strong towers are. But all in all, the best advice I can give you is, to everyone, build short, keep all your high-level towers together, and build condensed. So build up one section before you look at another. So you don't want to build evenly across your whole base. Very expensive and very annoying. I agree 100%. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of runes that go for my base, so that's the the sad part. So Twilight, I hope that answered your questions for you. I really like how your base is going right now. I think you're off to a really good start. So make sure you don't build it any longer. Keep the towers that you have, and I think that you're going to have a really great base. All right, heading back. So if you guys have any questions, holler at me. I'm going to go in about 10 minutes. I'm eating blueberries. Grab some dinner. Set Rulith up to defend against any wars that might be declared soon. So, see what we got. See how League's going. Also, remember, oh yeah, Twilight. So when you change things, sometimes the server takes a little bit to update. So let's check next stream, and we'll take a look at that. So remember, a lot of times my advice comes from my own experiences because that's the only experience that I have. Hey, Supa. The only experience I have are, you know, I'm in Sapphire 1. I've been in Sapphire Diamond for the last, I don't know, Bunny can tell you, year and a half, 2 years. So I went to Sapphire the week it was created. It was back before the last boat event, I think. So this is the experience I have. And so sometimes the needs of your base and the needs of your team and the needs of your account will be based on what league you're in. So I can only give you the advice I can for my league. So even for low levels, if you start moving to having your farms on this small island here, it's really helpful at the higher leagues because it gives the extra HP boost from your Dragon Perch and really helps your teammates in wars and helps in healing and everything like that. So makes a big difference. So we've done a lot of flying with Baby How. Well, I don't think I've been in Sapphire Diamond for 2 years. So let's see. Bunny and I are going to do a history because we've known each other for quite a long time. So when Diamond was created, ready for this history lesson now, if you haven't been playing the game for as long. So the original setup of the game is we had bronze tier, silver, gold, and platinum. And when this existed, there were only 2 platinum leagues. 2. That's it. Not hundreds teams. There were 50 teams max in platinum at a time. And at the top of one league was New Dawn, which was my league. And the top of the other league was Dreadnought. And they complained a lot, and they're like, hey, we really want to fight for this #1 spot. And so then they created Diamond League. And so when Diamond League was created, Rulith went up there too. And at our heyday, the peak of our time, Rulith was global #5. So that was a lot of fun. Bunny was on my team for a bit. Were you on Lethal when Diamond was created? I thought you went to Lethal after Rulith, Bunny. I'm pretty sure you were on Rulith first, and then you went to Lethal. I don't remember. But anyway, and so they're very small leagues. But after that point, I've restarted this team twice within the first about 4 months of the game. I was the original Rulith. We went up to Diamond. We decided that was not what we wanted because it was a little hectic with New Dawn and Dreadnought finally battling it out for the first time. Restarted as Legion of Heroes, and then pretty soon after, I restarted with the original Rulith again. Bonnie, you're having memory problems. You were on us before Lethal, right? Because after Lethal, didn't you go to Ancient's Ascent? I don't know. I can't remember any of these things. All I know is you were with Rulith and Diamond at some point. Yes. Bonnie and I have quite the history, don't we, Bonnie? It's, how to say, exciting at the least. Interesting. I know. I know. Why do I think A&A is great? I will show you why A&A is great. Alright, so we are on my main account right now. A&A's Expert. He's one of the only Garnets I've left on my thing. I am going to fly an XP base to start, and then we'll see if I can fly another base that's real. So, if you aren't familiar with A&A's spells, they are specific to him, like a lot of mythics are. He has Southern Cross and Northern Lights. So Northern Lights is the invincibility shield that when it's done, not popped, but when it's actually done doing its full timeout course, it leaves healing or rage marks behind. Southern Cross is similar to Fireball-like damage. I think mine does 1.5 million damage per tower at Expert, and it hits 5 towers at a time. And for every tower it's destroyed, you either gain rage or health back. And then we have the Celestial Dance, which allows us to switch back and forth between the light and the dark versions of spells. Dark gives us rage, light gives us health. And then finally, Cosmic Energy is not something that I've used very much. So when it's used, if A&A have more than 50% health, it takes a lot of things like that fire turret when it hits you with the super shot, and poison, those type of things it resists. So, hey Supa, glad that you checked in. Aura Dragon's very beautiful, for sure. The spells that we can vote on for the sorcerer kind of stink. Kind of stink. Bunny, they're awful. But the asterisk I put with that is if this dragon is designed for lower tier players, so no higher than gold or platinum, I think it'll be alright for them. So it's spells for them, but for the higher tier gameplay, it's all those spell sets are pretty useless. So I won't keep getting that dragon at all. So let's fly ANA. Mind you, this is an XP base. I can fly this whole XP base just spamming Southern Cross. So Southern Cross is the one that does fireball-like damage, the AoE damage. I love ANA. So when this purple bit is out for the dragon, that means I'm on the dark version of the spell. If you take a look at my spell rundown too, you can see that everything has the rage mark, the dragon phase in it. I precast a lot, as you can tell, so I'm holding Southern Cross in front of me right now so I can build up even more rage hitting it. So I can run through the entire XP base. And yes, again, I know that not all bases are XP bases, but imagine how I was just flying How. So flying How, I was just taking out mage towers, and if I can stand every mage tower and then come through with A&A, I'm going to rip things apart. The only bad part is you could see the shot before the Southern Cross. Southern Cross doesn't always work. Sometimes it glitches out and you don't get the rage that you're supposed to get, which is unfortunate. But otherwise, if a How goes through a moderate level base and takes care of all the mages for you, you're doing fine. Now with the level 50 towers out, not so much. You know, Garnet wasn't designed to take out level 50, and this does max out, I think, at 1.5 or 1.6 million damage at a time. So switching again when it's green, that means I'm on the health bar. You can see on my spell sheet there that everything has the plus sign for health. I can do Southern Cross, and I get all of my health back. So it's nuts. I love A&A. Let me see if I can go lead on a base with House It, and then use A&A to clean up and see how that goes. Let's see. I've never done this before, so this is fun. Experiencing new things on the stream together, guys. Oh, here's an inactive base. Let's give this... Oh, that's a lot of mage towers. Short. Let me look for a base that I actually wouldn't mind hitting because of the blue setup. Here we go. Let's give this one a go, shall we? So take a look. This is a 303 base on Outlaws. It is long. It's only 172 million damage. You can see that the build here is pretty even, which leads me to believe that this person is either capped and can't build past level 45 towers, or whatever the reason may be. So, sorry if you watch the stream if you're offended by me hitting you, but I'm gonna because you have a long base. So my goal here is to set up for A&A. I'm gonna get those mage towers out of the way and take out anything else that I can as well. So I'm looking for all the blues. I only see 4 blues on this entire base, which is great for How. So a reminder on my House It, on my main account, it is expert, but I do not have any runes on it because I'm a loser. So thank you so much for letting us use your base. I'm sorry, not trying to pick it apart, but it is How friendly. So I'm going to say that, and now I'm going to get, like, shot to pieces. I'm not going to invite my teammates because I want to clean up myself. Oh, Bunny, you're scaring me. Twilight, I'll check your base again after this, darling. Doop, 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 doop. This is my house song. We want to avoid getting hit by any mage towers. And he's got all these low levels to start, so there's no reason for me to leave stuff behind there. I could have left a tower or 2 behind to help my follow build up rage, but I'm not super concerned because there aren't any defenders. So I'm not using time shift there. All I'm doing is trying to sand and build up time for my follow, which is in this case myself, to do things. So I'm taking out these mages. Taking out anything extra that I have space for. And again, I'm not rewinding either because I might have to use borrowed time. Things like that. So I'm just trying to clear the way for A&A. So we're using borrowed time here. So when you are on borrowed time, you cannot use spells. You can only tap. So I got to use a little bit more borrowed time. That's my shelf to build up more rage. Gonna boost. Alright. How are we going here? Oops, shit. Wrong version of Southern Cross. Oop, crap. Oh well. So I'm gonna switch to the dark version before I forget again. I'm gonna throw up the shield. I'm purposefully not targeting that blue mage tower right away. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Not going very well, so I'm going to switch and try to get some health back. So I'm going to wait for the shield to pop. I'll put that health mark you can see on that blue mage tower. Get a little bit of health back. I feel a bit better, so I'm going to use Southern Cross with Rage. So I hope that gives you a little bit more of a fancy version to show you why I like A&A. A&A I still believe is a fantastic cleanup dragon if you have the perfect circumstances. And if you do have the perfect circumstances, A&A is really hard to stop because he can generate his own rage like that. So it's like a fancy evasion. Time shift? Faux show. It is a wonderful evasion. It's the only useful version evasion has ever had. So we're going to check out Twilight again real quick to see if her thing has reloaded. Nope, so it hasn't reloaded for me at Twilight. So like Bunny said, I think Bunny knows the way to make your base automatically reload, which is to store a tower and then bring it back out. I don't know, but sometimes the server can just be really slow at updating what you see. So even though you changed it, the server hasn't recognized that you have yet. So let me know if there's any other questions. I think this test stream went really well. Personally, I don't think there are a lot of issues, so I am going to take to heart what I was told about the lighting. I'll try to work a little bit better on lighting, especially with the fuzziness that comes around behind me due to my green screen. So I will check into that. If there's any other thing that you have questions about regarding my stream and how I can improve it and how I can do it better, things that you want to see, please, please, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. So you guys can find me in game. You've seen my in-game accounts already. You know my name. So Red in-game is really easy to find, or the Red Delilah. Both of those accounts are in Rulith. I do have another alt account that hangs out with Tony a bit on Arya. Great team. So a few brief shout-outs. My Rulithians, you know I love you. To those who have been showing up consistently for quite a while and hanging out with me, thank you so much. I hope that what I've been doing is helpful. So I will be working on tonight and tomorrow, working up with a kind of different schedule with a little bit more specifics, and I hope to touch on some flying strategies for all different levels. I want to talk about some base strategies. I want to talk about some more strategies in very brief ways for teams below Sapphire, because I'm not going to give away all of our tricks here in Rulith, but I will be putting out a schedule soon. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter already, make sure you follow me on Twitter. My handle is right there next to me. I'm pointing the right way this time. Yeah. So the Red Delilah on Twitter, I'll post everything there. I'm keeping all my updates online if we are line friends. So really appreciate it. So we're going to do one last check to see if Twilight's is updated. I'm taking a look. So Twilight, seems like you still have that empty space, so I definitely put that 14 fire there. And that 8 flak, don't put it on that island. Put it in the back until you build it up, because I think that it's not going to do as much damage. So thanks guys so much. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a hell of a lot of fun for me. I hope that you guys have a lot of fun. So check out on Twitter for my schedule coming up. I'll always post my schedule here on my Twitch channel down below where it says schedule. And I've really just appreciated it so much. So thank you guys. Have a good night.